Welcome back everyone. Yesterday we defeated the sand monster that was one of the Vizier's top henchmen, and because the prince was about to transform into the Dark Prince, so he took a tumble and fell into this kind of underground area where we now have to find our way back to the surface. And one thing I should mention, most of these environmental objects, when you are in the Dark Prince segments, most of them can be destroyed for extra sands to refill your health. So if it looks like the timing is really tight for the Dark Prince, and if it looks like you are going to be running out of health to the health drain, then you can look around for...
The prince fled from the arena, embarrassed by the unwanted attention, fearful that they might realize he was becoming a sand monster. But something tugged at him. The freed citizens believed he had come to rescue them. That people, his people, now lived when they should have died. This was just an accident. His thoughts had been only of reaching the Vizier and exacting revenge. Perhaps now the prince would remember he once fought for something other than his lost honor. It was simply too soon to tell.
I mean, not really, just because all the citizens did live because of the prince's action, right? So at the end of the day, that's what counts. And yeah, what I was saying is that if you are running out of health as the Dark Prince, you can look around the area for destructible objects, and for the most of the time there will be some sand in them to refill your health.
Well, look at that.
Farah!
How do you know my name?
Yes,
I eagerly await your response.
I have heard tales, wondrous tales of a beautiful and brave princess of India. One who has traveled to Babylon seeking to punish an evil vizier who has caused her great distress.
See? Now she's going to kill us.
How in the world have you managed to survive this long? Good luck, stranger.
And they brought back Farah from the first game as well, so the entire gang from the first game is now back together. And this time I need to wait for this archer to turn around. There he is. We can go. And I really love how this user mod actually adds all these effects of the decapitation and all the gore back together. Back to the game, I mean. It doesn't look like much, it doesn't really look like anything you would think about, but it just adds so much more flavor back to the game. Because without it, the animation of you decapitating the enemy would still play.
She called me stranger.
Oh.
She remembers nothing of our past together.
Because it never happened. You know, no sands of time, no Azad. You get the Vizier, but you lose the girl. It doesn't matter. We're better off without her. Or have you forgotten? Maybe a few arrows in the back will stir your memory.
We must catch up with her.
I hit that one too early.
We must catch up with her.
Fair enough. Though I suspect you and I want very different things from the girl.
And I think me and all of you guys want different things from her as well. But yeah, like the flavor of the game, so without these, like without the animation of the enemy's head and body parts coming off, it just doesn't make sense otherwise, because the game still plays the animation of you cutting off their limbs. Oh, this is a double. So it's kind of stupid how they just got rid of that in the first place. Maybe they did it out of some I don't know. I don't know why they did it actually. Because Warrior Within had it, but then this game, for whatever reason, doesn't. And then apparently in some other versions of this game, the actual decapitation is still there. And Eye of the Storm. This is basically the same slow time power that we had in the previous game. Oh, and I don't think I've mentioned this before, but the reason why we have to get all our sand powers back is because the prince actually threw away his medallion from the previous game, the medallion that was completely upgraded. So this time all of our sand powers are actually coming from the dagger, and that's why we have to redo all of the upgrades. And if we are playing with the not restored content, if we are playing on a version of this game that has all the cut content, so the PSP version, then the path to us upgrading the dagger is actually a lot longer. So basically, we have to go into the sand portal, and in the sand portals there are these shrines of shrines to Servant that I said, I think a couple of days ago, was it yesterday? And the shrines are actually the places that we will be getting the actual upgrade to the dagger, as opposed to just jabbing them into the portal itself.
Maybe Babylon is better off in Zervan's hands.
Yeah, like the Dark Prince is saying. And this door is like the same tutorial door from the previous game, at the beginning of the previous game, where we first got our first slow time power. And basically you cannot get past that door without slow time.
You still have feelings for her, admit it.
Farah and I went through so much together. Though she may not remember, I can never forget.
I remember our baths together. Oh, and one other thing is that if you come too close to this edge like this, then these guys can actually detect you.
Dagger of Time. How did you come to possess that?
Here we go again.
I took it from the Vizier.
That traitor. He murdered my father, enslaved my people, imprisoned me. And all in the name of becoming some kind of god.
I know too well what he is capable of. But I intend to find him and punish him for what he has done to my kingdom.
You are the son of Shahraman? The Prince of Persia?
And you are the daughter of the Maharaja. We both seek the same thing. Perhaps we should journey together.
Perhaps. Provided you can keep up.
I grow tired of her little tests.
It is simply her way. I assure you, she will prove a valuable ally.
She has great assets, that's for sure. And our dynamic with Farah in this game is a little bit different from the last time we saw her in the first game. So basically this time it is on us to win over her trust, whereas the last game we started off in a more equal footing, with her trusting us right at the beginning. And it's kind of ridiculous how much health just your average grunt actually has in this game. So it's a good thing we can actually play this with the assassination mechanics, and there are not that many fights like this where the enemy comes out knowing exactly where you are. Because otherwise then this game would just take forever on hard. And you guys can see like these guys are basically not dying at all. And in the previous game we don't really get enemies with this much health until we get... I think it doesn't get this bad until we get the Scorpion Sword in the previous game, right? So let me just throw this guy on, and then just have to fight this guy on one-on-one, just so I can pick up his offhand weapon. Just so I can pick up his weapon for my offhand.
All right. I'm impressed. I suppose it is wise to work together. There is strength in numbers, after all.
I'm glad you've come around.
Just don't make me regret it. Now let us find the Vizier.
With the Dahaka defeated, the prince was slowly regaining pieces of his former self. The pressure and desperation which once drove him were gone. Grim as things seemed, there was now hope. Hope that peace could be restored to the land and to our tortured hero. But the Vizier's armies still hunted him, and they grew more determined by the hour.
I don't know about the desperation being gone. I seem to be able to hear it pretty well in our own heads.
What? What is that thing?
It's the Vizier.
What's happened to him?
Something terrible.
Something wonderful.
Wait!
No!
Be happy that he is gone. You never would have stood a chance.
Oh, how silly of me. You're right. Perhaps we should surrender. Or turn away and leave the city. I know a lovely little island just a few weeks' journey from here. I'm sure by the time we return this will all be sorted out.
If it comforts you to mock me, then by all means continue. But you are so focused on killing him, you've thrown strategy completely out the window. You could have died.
I suppose. But now we need to find a way to enter the temple. We're wasting time here.
That seems to be our best bet.
And I think down below we have a new enemy type. These are stealth enemies. Yeah, see, there's one over here. There he is.
You may not be able to see these creatures, but you can still hear them.
Yeah, so like the Dark Princess, if you can't see the enemies, the auto lock-on of this game will basically always point the prince towards where the enemy is. So if you're having trouble like seeing where they are, then just attack anyway, and the prince will automatically lock on towards where the enemies actually are. Oh, there's one more. And I think over here we have a chest. Wait, no? Oh, here it is. Let me swap my offhand. Yeah, and unlike in the previous game where Farah... Oh, there's one more of these invisible enemies. But yeah, so the way Farah helps you out in this game, instead of crawling through walls, she's going to use her bow to either unlock doors by hitting switches, or she's going to use her bow to drop down these crates and boxes for you to use to climb onto different surfaces.
It worked! I'm going in!
Oh, I should
I'm not sure
reset
I
the
like
switch.
this girl is always charging ahead.
Fear not, she has already proved a valuable asset to us.
Always remember that bath sequence from the first game, Prince. Always remember the bath sequence.
You know, I've been thinking about what Farah said earlier. She has a point. How do you plan to kill the Vizier?
Like any
He's
other sand
immortal
monster.
now.
The dagger made him into what he is. It can unmake him.
I suppose we
Yep,
will know the truth of
basically.
this soon enough.
These guys actually are
Feet off the sand.
probably the most...
Kill them before they steal any more.
Yeah. And like these dogs are probably the most dangerous enemies, just because with how much health they have on hard mode. Oh, let me get this. With how much health they have on hard mode, and how much damage and how unpredictable their attack patterns actually are, it's actually really difficult to get rid of any one of them. And once they get like kind of an attack sequence going, it's really hard to get them out of it as well. So when you are fighting like multiple of these guys, you want to be really careful. So there's one behind. And yeah, I think I'm 2 or 3 hits away from dying already. Oh, and if you try to jump across with this guy looking out this window, then this guy will detect you and all of these guys will be alerted. And then the guy that's monitoring the gate will call for reinforcements, and the whole thing will become a complete mess. And this is basically the start of these sand gates kind of becoming a puzzle where you have to work your way around the map. Oh, that's not supposed to happen. No. Oh, that was close. Alright, let me see if I can get this. Alright, there we go. And yeah, but these sand gates have basically become like a mini puzzle where you have to work out how to assassinate all of these guys without ever alerting the other enemies. Which is like one of the new layers to encounters that they've added. So right now I should be able to get this double. Yep. And then basically with 3 guys it's kind of simple. but later on there are going to be multiple, like there are going to be 5 or 6 guys in the same area, and each of them are going to be covering each other's backs. So it just turns into like a cool mini game that we get to play with. Oh, I need this bell over here.
Such a beautiful building.
Father built these gardens as a symbol of his love for our people. Once, all the kingdom was like this.
Try using these levers. If I can reach the other side, I might be able to find a way to open that door. Do you think you could move a little faster?
You're more than welcome to come down here and try it yourself. 7 years and still nothing's changed.
7 years? What are you talking about?
It's a figure of speech.
There is something very odd about you.
She has no idea.
Ah, we are making progress.
I think I see a bell in that tower. Perhaps if you can get me to the next balcony, I can sever its rope. You can use it to access the door switch.
With my luck, it will probably trigger some terrible trap. Or summon sand monsters. Or bring about the end of the world.
Would it kill you to show a little optimism?
Experience has taught me wishful thinking only leads to disappointment.
Yeah, see, the pessimism is alive and well in the prince. Right, so we have more of these guys. Just gotta be really careful. Oh, I have taken way too much damage. Guess I... Oh, okay, this one works. I was thinking I could get the one that's opening his jaw first. Please don't hit me. Yeah, see, like just like that, I'm dead already. Right, so I need to wait. Wait again. One more. Alright, this is good. And let me see if I can get some of my sand back.
See? You did it!
We did it.
are people hurt inside. We should help them.
Now is not the time, Prince. You can help all you want later.
Go, Farah. Tend to the wounded. I will catch up with you once I've dealt with the Vizier.
And so the prince and Farah separated. She sought to save lives, he to end them. For the prince intended to confront his enemy and perhaps utilize the powerful warriors who had holed up inside the temple. His mind churned with thoughts of glorious vengeance. But something new as well. Descending into the depths, his thoughts kept returning to Farah. He wondered if she was thinking of him as well.
Alright, so I think we've made some pretty good progress, so I'm going to take a stop here, come back tomorrow, and we'll continue to try and catch up with the Vizier. So, and thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.